Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm Gina Cavalli, and, something that has been intriguing to me for a long, long time are these brain scans. And there's two different types of brain scans. So I thought we would bring in an expert on brain scans. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Candace Holmes. She's the CEO and founder of Natural Brain Transformation Specialists at the Brain Core of Duluth. Hi, Dr. Candace. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So thankful that you are on the show during Autism Acceptance Month. Some people call it Autism Awareness Month. Tell our viewers all about neurofeedback. What is it? How do they start it? What kinds of results do you see? I know this is a hot topic right now.
Sure. So neurofeedback is a sophisticated form of biofeedback. It is simply a learning modality. So it teaches your brain how to train itself and regulate all the things that are going on that you're having challenges with. So it's drug-free, non-invasive. The results can last up to 30 years, and it's just a fantastic way to address certain conditions of the brain.
So how do people get the scans then?
So it's called a QEEG brain mapping for those scientific people out there, quantitative electroencephalogram. It is done in office. So my practice is national. So you can come to my office in Georgia to have it done, or you can go to one of my colleagues in another state to have it done. So it's a cap that has sensors on it, and certain areas are filled with some gel, and it simply records your brainwave frequencies. And a report comes out, and it shows us where your brain is functioning well, and then where it's having some challenges. And those areas that it's having challenges with is what we use to address the protocols to help with those things.
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't want optimal brain performance, right?
Correct.
So it's not just for mental health challenges. Like I use it for stress relief. I also use it to maintain my cognition, to make sure that my brain stays sharp as I season. I don't like to say I'm aging. I'm seasoning. My dad played football. He had concussions. He was having memory issues. He would say he had CRS, and I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, central respiratory. He said, I can't remember. I said, right? Because, I'm not in his age group. He'll be 87 this year. So, it's important just to maintain self-sufficient, independent. It's a huge blessing. And that's all I want for all my patients, is to be self-sufficient and independent no matter how old they are.
So outside of the ADD, ADHD, the memory, like with dementia and things like that, also, I read somewhere in your book, and we're going to get to your book in just a minute, something that it helps patients with PTSD. How does that work?
Absolutely. I had a patient who had severe PTSD, and looking at her, you wouldn't know. She confided to me that she ended up, it was in the book as well, she had to be rescued by the SWAT team from her boyfriend at the time. So PTSD tends to be a combination of conditions. So you think about the anxiety, you think about the depression, you think about, all the sleepless nights, the migraines, so the insomnia and everything else. And so what it does is it addresses which of those conditions is the most prevalent. And once you take care of the top one, everything else tends to fall away and get better.
Okay, so walk me through the protocol. I come into your office, I get the brain scan. So then where do we go from there? Like, what do you do?
Sure. So I go over the report with you and your family. And once if you decide to work with me, then I will send you home with a nice little laptop and the equipment so that you can, and I'll show you how to set yourself up, of course, before I send you home with it, or I ship it to you, and we'll do a Zoom. So there are sensors that are contained in there, and paste and all the consumables. The sensors will go, let's say we're working on the frontal part of your brain. So then you'll put some paste on the sensors, and then you'll just essentially paste them to your scalp. It doesn't hurt. Again, doesn't hurt. All non-invasive and drug-free. I have had people say, are you going to shock my daughter or shock me? I said, listen, no, I'm not into shocking anybody except with, how brilliant the results are. But nothing painful, nothing painful. So you'll connect the sensors there, and they go to a little box, which is called an amplifier, and that's connected to your computer. You'll do training sessions. So at home, you'll watch something on a streaming device of your choice. And for 30 minutes, twice a day, you are connected. And when your brain is in the area that we're trying to correct, then you'll see what you're watching like you regularly would. It's bright and you hear it well. When your brain starts going into what we call a dysfunctional pattern, then the screen will fade and the volume decreases. And that's the signal to your brain, hey, you're not where you're supposed to be. It's called operant condition. So it's like conditioning. It's like a positive and negative reinforcement.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, so now with that, you have to give me some examples of like before and after, some success stories from people who
Oh my goodness.
have used this.
Sure. So I had a young man who was on the spectrum. He is on the spectrum. He was 23 at the time, and he was having 20 stims, which, is his were hand flapping. And that's a way for those on the spectrum to try to regulate their emotions. And so he was having about 20 of those a day before working with me.
Wow.
After working with me, he went to about 1 to 2 a month. So he was just so excited. He was nonverbal, and he used the letterboard to communicate with me, and it just brought tears to my eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, like just one thing. I mean, we take things for granted. It just really touched me. I had another young lady on the spectrum who had a challenge with regulating her emotions, especially anger, when something changed. Her routine wasn't the same. And her mom said she's always ready for World War III when something changed. So her daughter was upstairs and there was a schedule change. So she called her downstairs and she told her what the change was. And her daughter looked at her and said, okay. Turned around and went back upstairs. Her mom said she was just in shock. Her jaw dropped to the ground like, wait, what just happened? And she was level. It was a beautiful thing.
I mean, you can't mess with success like that. Now, I know, just like every parent out there watching this right now, listening to this as a podcast, wondering, can you give us an average about how much this kind of stuff costs?
Sure. So it varies from office to office, but my program start at $5,000 and go up, and that's for unlimited use of my system for months, a month. The beauty of that is that you can complete multiple sessions in a day as opposed to having to drive to an office 2 or 3 times a week because, we're all busy. And I designed it around, my busy lifestyle too. I don't want to have to come to the office at 8 o'clock at night because that's when your child is finished practicing basketball. If it's 8 o'clock at night, then you all can go home. He or she can take a shower, connect themselves, while they're eating. Well, hopefully not while they're eating, but just connect themselves because if they watch television anyway or want to watch a movie, then why not make it work for your brain?
Youngest patient, how old?
5. They have to be able to sit.
Oldest patient, how old?
Presently, my dad, who'd be 87.
Your dad uses it. I love it.
Oh, yes.
With
my
CRS.
aunts and uncles are jealous. They're jealous. They're like, we need to come down there so Dr. They call me Candace, of course, can work on our brains because we want that too. Yes.
With me today, Dr. Candace Holmes. She's the CEO and founder of Natural Brain Transformation, and they're specialists at the Brain Core of Duluth. When we get back, we're going to talk all about this awesome little book you wrote. Stay with me.
Don's Tree Service is awesome.
Love Don's Tree Service. They've come out for a giant oak tree removal, another for some debris removal.
One thing I really appreciated about Don's Tree Service, they come, they take those trees down, and they take everything away.
For a free estimate, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-TREE, or find them online at donstree.com.
At Jerem & Associates, we're not only attorneys, but we're special needs parents, too.
From special needs trusts, wills, powers of attorney, guardianship, and appealing denials of Katie Beckett and now comp waivers. We're here to help.
Protecting special needs families is our mission. Reach out to us at jlaw.com.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Dr. Candace Holmes. I mean, this is so interesting. Brain Core of Duluth has got it. The market is right here in Atlanta, too, with, young, in between, and old. Anybody can benefit from these brain scans and from your neurofeedback therapy. Now, let's talk about transforming your brain with neurofeedback. My favorite chapter in this is I marked it. is chapter 7 because it's from frustration to freedom. And when I read this, I thought I wanted to talk to you, Dr. Candace, because as a mom, I can get really frustrated with my own son who, I'm still trying to understand. And now we're going through puberty. So it's another layer of, it's another layer of it.
I remember that.
And then I have to feel too, what frustration he must have. So for me, reading this chapter was kind of like twofold. Care to share a little bit more about your amazing book?
Sure. So I wrote it essentially because most people haven't heard of neurofeedback. And honestly, I hadn't either. It's been around for over 60 years now. And I'm a conspiracy theorist. Don't get me started on why we haven't heard about it. So my doctor is in chiropractic. The goal is to stay away from medications as often as possible. They do have a place in people's lives, or just hopefully not in my family or anyone that I serve. My goal is to get you off of medications because once your brain is able to regulate itself and is functioning well, then the dependence on them decreases. So that's one of the goals. I also wrote it, in a fashion so that you won't have to go to the glossary. You won't have to go to Google and and go to the medical, dictionary and say, now, what is this again? Now, what is that? Because what fun is that? I don't like not knowing a lot of things. I definitely don't want to have to study again since I've been in school. I was in school for 20 years. I'm continuing education and staying on top of things, great. But having to read something that frustrates you more than anything, it was not my goal. I just wanted it to make it an easy way for people to get an invitation to find out more about neurofeedback.
And inside this book, there are terrific pictures. And I don't know if you can see, maybe I can pop these up on the screen while we're talking. There's great images of what the brain looks like and what these QED, results and
QEEG,
QEEG are doing. And it's really wonderful overcoming anxiety, overcoming PTSD, overcoming ADHD, ADD. I know that this kind of affected your own family, right?
Oh, my goodness, yes. So my daughters were 2 and 4 when their dad and I got divorced. And so my daughter wasn't diagnosed until she was 7 with ADHD. And so it was just me. I didn't have anybody to tag team off of. So talk about frustration. I'm working every day till 6 or so. I pick them up from after school care and then come home and have to cook dinner and then, or warm up, eat leftovers. I won't say I cook every night. I don't want people to think I cook. No one's that, well, some people. And I would have to start working with her at about 7 until midnight every night. And she just wasn't understanding lessons. And it was frustrating for both she and I because it's not what I'm used to. I grew up and thankfully I didn't have any challenges, and nor did my brother. And so having someone who you explain it 10 times and she still doesn't get it, or you have to shorten the directions and reiterate and go over it, time and time again. And of course the new math and, oh, mommy, that's not how they do it in school. Right. Don't get me started on the new math. When my parents used to say that, I'm like, come on, math is math. Yeah, there's new math. there's new math. So, and it was frustrating for her too, because she saw how much of a toll, it was taking on me. And it was not intentional, of course. It's something she couldn't help. And, there was a lot of mommy guilt with, I was disciplining her for school behaviors and things. And it wasn't until I learned more about the brain and how it works and her condition that I realized she couldn't help any of that. And so I had to apologize to her. I'm like, sweetie, I apologize. I didn't know. We don't know. We don't know. So doing your research and doing the best that you can for your kids is just, I think, the ultimate way to show them that you love them and you hear them, and to get rid of our guilt too.
Where can people find this awesome book?
Sure, they can go to my website. It's braincoreofduluth.com. Brain core, like an apple, CORE, of Duluth, D as in dog, ULUTH.com. And there's a button there where you can order an autographed copy. I'll be happy to sign it and send it to you.
And it is absolutely 100% worth the read. Dr. Candace Holmes, is that also where people can get more information about starting neurofeedback therapy?
Absolutely. They can go there and they can also just book directly with me. I offer complimentary discovery calls because, again, people have questions and I don't want to charge them to ask questions. So don't get me started on that either. And they can just go to bookwithdrh.com for that if they just want to just go straight from here. And no matter how you spell it, you'll get to me. Bookwithdrh.com.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Dr. Candace. I think you've answered so many questions today, and this book is definitely 100,000% worth its read. Thank you so much, Dr. Candace.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Modern, non-invasive, drug-free. I mean, who wouldn't want their brain to work at the most optimum level it can work, right? I know I do. I mean, I kind of want to look into these brain scans, not just for Lyric, but for myself too. It's kind of why we reinvent ourselves, to dig deeper, to find out more, to find out what's around the corner that could work with behaviors, impulsiveness, right? And Dr. Candace Holmes, she knows what she's doing. She wrote a whole book, and this book is terrific. I've read it front to back, and there's something for everybody in here, whether it applies to ADD, ADHD, PTSD, memory loss because of dementia, and others. This is a really good read, so I hope you find it through her website of braincoreofduluth.com. I appreciate you checking into Life with the Spectrum during Autism Awareness Month. I'm bringing you really some great information here all month long. Not that we don't bring it every other month, but after reading different social posts and finding out what people really want to know about, I went out and I found the experts, and we're talking to them all month long right here on Life with the Spectrum. Till next time. See ya.
Bye.